A new base design has been cooked up by the one and only Robberfox that's to potentially sweep the fort's mana in 1v1s and 4v4s to devastating effect. I'll quickly provide a tutorial for it, but first here are the sections. 1. Base elements, 2. Base benefits, and 3. Building, in which I'll actually explain the building. This base uses a contemporary hybrid, using many relatively off-meta variations that complement each other's weaknesses in perfect ways for allowed to have absolutely devastating advantages over traditional base designs. It has 4 unique features. 1 is back turbines. A full back turbine setup from the beginning allows for full back turbine incorporation, which doesn't require any shields at all. And excess building to gain back turbines after turbine row allows more uncapped energy production, defense efficiency by not using shields. Innovation in back turbine designs were widespread during past mortar metas as mortars needed to shoot up and require more energy, but outside the Chinese pro community, it has not seen widespread use after this, and we'll see why in a second. Extreme tiny doors. 2. Slanting cannons down allow for extreme tiny doors, typically not done due to staircasing constraints and other defensive downsides, solved in combination with staircasing, which removes previous defects. Tiny doors allow for faster door opening, less door area, which means less door sniping, and cheaper repair and build. 3. Staircase, which is customizable. The special staircase design prevents cannon drop, which allows for easy replacements while reducing chain explosion risk by positioning cannons actually much further away from each other, not only just above, but also diagonally. Traditional downsides of staircasing remove the better back turbine design. 4. Return descender. Now with only viable with the 3 previous elements, back turbines allow for the extra energy returns for return descenders. Extreme tiny doors and the staircase design allow for a larger section of non-doored area to defend the portals, which have a minimum size length. And now, so all of this, what does that mean? It means that in cannon stacking, when both players attempt to outpace the opponent economically and relying on slow echo damage, the average cannon shot takes around 400 metal to repair on contact with enemy doors. At a reload time of 28 seconds per shot, that means that it's 14.3 metal damage per second. Now, at a rate of 36 metal per second with 66 fully upgraded mines, it means that 2.5 cannons is enough to stall an entire base if it is hitting their tiny doors on an opposing cannon stack. Accounting for more factors like commanders, tiny doors, and wood spam, the number is often higher. Now, applying this to the Robberfox base, when you look for targets, you can shoot one of 2 places. 1 is the doors, which relatively have a 40% chance of hitting and dealing around 350 of economic damage. However, the return descenders make it more likely for you to deal damage to yourself than the opponent on average, making it unwise and uneconomical. The second option would be to shoot wood spam, which is around 150 metal cost to repair and build, which is a 2.67 decrease in economic damage. That could be the difference between 3 cannons and 8 cannons for reference, and in ideal scenarios can make cannon battles a dominating win and can completely shift the entire style of cannons, as once you get this base completely built up, your opponent, doesn't matter how good their base design is, doesn't matter how good their build is, if you can get this base up well, then you just win every single cannon stacking battle, which is just absolutely insane to think about. And in 4v4s, they can't even shoot you at all. So, now explanation aside, we're going to move on to the building. Now this is a 4-long high backlane base and will be extremely difficult to build. Every stretch builds on the next, which means that a small mistake can make your base unplayable and unusable. So make sure you follow the tutorial extremely carefully, and I recommend following step by step in Sandbox. Rebuild until identical, and quickly I'll jump in with some quick building tips as well. But before we get started, I have some extraordinarily important game tips for you to actually build this base. So, number 1 is turning off grid, but number 2 is holding control, and I cannot stress how much hold control actually matters in this game. This is something you need to do when dragging literally every single box. And when I say every single box, I mean every single box. And it's going to be something that you need to be as a habit. And that means also basically dragging every single strat too. Control turns off all of the quote-unquote smart features of forts, but every single smart feature in forts will hinder your base and make building your base literally impossible, will look crooked, look wrong. And if you do one box while not doing this trick, while not holding control, then your entire base will be screwed up. So, how does that look like? First of all, when you're dragging boxes, what it does is when you build boxes, you see this is what happens when I'm not holding control. You see how it's very square and these struts are very flat? It's because even though we have turned the grid off, the game still for some reason tries to snap you to this imaginary grid, because why would we not, I guess? But the issue with that is that we don't want our base to look like these squares, because some pieces of wood are shorter, some pieces are longer, and it just doesn't fit your overall curvature of the base. As well, when you do very precise measurements in modern day, you cannot be doing this. this, and it's just absolutely terrible. And this applies, remember, dragging literally any box. Every single time you see me drag any box in the video, I don't care if it's in the front, I don't care if it's at the top, I don't care if it's at the side, I don't care if it's at the back, I don't care if it's below my base, you have to hold control. So what that means is, once again, select the strut, hold control, and then you drag it. So select the strut, hold control, and then you drag it. If you hold control immediately, it will not allow you to drag the strut, so make sure you do that. And when you see me dragging any box at the top, make sure when I'm dragging my cannons like this, you click the strut, hold control, and then you drag, or else it will just not work. It'll be sad. It will try to snap you to imaginary grids, and then you'll be unhappy. Same here. When you're dragging any strut, you want to, one of the stability techs I do is I do the strut inside the core here, and you won't even be able to do this if you're not holding control. So you can click the node, or you can hold control while doing this, actually, the whole way. Click the node, hold control, and then you press it here. If you don't hold control, it'll try to select the strut, which you don't want. And same here. If you're doing this front stability tech, you want to go here, you hold control, you click. When you want to go here, if you don't hold control, it will try to grab this piece of wood, and you don't want that. So you want to do is you click this node, hold control, and then you click, and then there we go, like such. So when you're confused about doing literally anything in the game, and when you're dragging any strut that you see me doing, and you can't do it, make sure just hold control. I don't care if I'm doing literally anything, hold control if you can. The entire building's schematics of the space. The space is relatively more complicated to build and a little bit more intimidating for newer players, but if you don't want to do this immediately, you can try another base, but you can still, I think it's still an interesting watch. Just make sure you build everything quite precisely, because 4-long bases require high amount of precision, and that if you do one strut angled wrong, the rest of it won't work, because everything is built on top of each other. So we're going to start off with these front turbines. Like I said into the intro over here, we're going to do front turbines, something looking like this and this. I have a tendency to build things too fast, so feel free to slow things down. So for this turbine right here, make sure you put it extra close to the right like such. And this the turbine should be centered something looking like this. And now you can sell this strut, get all your mines over here. I noticed that we're playing overdrive. Overdrive is very good because it increases energy production and allows you to upgrade turbines a lot more conveniently. I recommend overdrive in this particular builder. Commanders like Armadillo, Moonshine, and most eco commanders also work as well. Cannon stack commanders just generally work as well. Overdrive is just very good with this specific strategy. After you get all your mines, you would go ahead and sell this node. You would go ahead and get upgrade center, and now you would go ahead and connect this 4-long. Sometimes you can't immediately connect this. Just build like 1 or 2 struts on the left over here, and then you can connect this 4-long. Now you wouldn't want, now this is the part where it gets a little bit precise, and it will be continue to be precise. You want to drag a 3-long, which is 75 energy, as you can see this little ticker here, all the way to the left. So something looking like this, and make sure when you're building, you basically want this to connect from here to here to be 100 energy, as you can see on the notation on the right there. So for example, if I drag this and I can't drag it there, then which has to re-drag it. I drag this is too close, then I would re-drag it, and then until I'm satisfied with this number. And usually precise range between, sometimes you need to be more precise, I'll tell you, but usually between 2 energy values, where 102 similar to 100, it'll be fine. Now you connect these 2 struts, you would sell this strut to over here. Now you would once again try to get this 100 set up here, like such, straight up, and make sure you drag this 100% all the way here, from here to here. Once again, when you're from here to here, try to do like a parallel thing here, where this is around 100 energy. A little bit more is fine. Same here, you want to keep it parallel. That was a little bit much, so keep it a little bit parallel, something looking like this. And once you build these struts, now you would build this strut right here. And now you would go ahead and go parallel like such. Now you go ahead and build down like such, and this is the part where you have to be extra precise. So what you want to do is you want to do a full length strut over here, and you want this to be 108 or 109 energy, basically at max length, like such, and then eventually you will connect the stuff down here. Now, if you were really good at the game and you actually had a really complete understanding of stability, you can even just you can get that node very delayed, which I'll explain in a second. But I'm not going to show that right now just because it's too difficult. Now you want to go ahead and drag up something like this so that this is close to the max length. 106 is fine enough. And now, once you've got this right angle, you would go ahead and you see this node, you would kind of want to slant it, something looking like this. Not slanted, but not slanted too much. This is something that sort of you will just have to eyeball, and once you get it good enough at the game, you can kind of see. And this 50 energy is fine enough energy. Now you can place a turbine relatively close to the left edge, something looking like this. Now you can place this strut down like such, and now you can complete this strut. Ideally at the end of all your base, the end of all this jazz over here, this should be near the max length. Now if you're really good at the game, you could delay placing this foundation node, which I'm not going to do right now, just because it requires a lot of extra strain on your base. Now how you want to keep building is you want to go ahead and build one turbine, and it would go up because the turbine is actually 65 energy long, though we want to go a little bit above 65, so 68 energy, something looking like this. Maybe even a little bit more if you want a little bit more leeway, so 70 energy, going straight up at a 90-degree angle like such. And now you want to build horizontally, again keeping the slant over here. Now you place this turbine here. Ideally at the end of all of building this and building maybe a little bit more, you want the turbine platform to be perfectly flat, which is why we plant this prematurely. Once you've done that, usually at the 2 turbines, while you're done with building the 2 turbines, your tier 1 tech will complete, which is upgrade center in this case. Now you go ahead and get cannon tech. After you get cannon tech, the standard overdrive build order is you would go ahead and upgrade your turbines, because overdrive makes upgrading turbines worth it as opposed to any other commander. Actually, I'm glazing over how to build this again. So you would go ahead and go 50 energy like this. Sort of imagine completing this triangle to be symmetrical like such, and you want this, basically this right here, to be max length, which is 108 or 109 energy, something looking like this. Make sure that this is around 50 energy and not something looking like this, and make sure that this is full length, so something looking like this. And once again here, around a little bit more is fine, but just generally eyeball it so that this connects over here. It's kind of looking like this. And now you would want to get up to 4 turbines, which should look in a formation looking like this. And now you want to upgrade all of your turbines. So you have 4 upgrade turbines, 2 non-upgrade turbines, and only after that you would upgrade all your mines. Now there's different ways to do a spine. Personally, I prefer a 3-long spine, but I know 4-long is the more professional spine, so I might just teach that. But regardless of now, you really shouldn't be defending at this point. You want to go ahead and start building your cannon stack. So notice I said that place this turbine close to the right. This actually acts as buzzsaw protection at this stage of the game. And this prevents any buzzsaws from killing you, which is very crucial. Which is, why we keep this so far to the right. And now you would kind of... So what Robberfox does is basically you can select this diagonal strut, and by selecting this node, this way you can select this diagonal strut specifically behind this core, and you drag this up. If you don't want to do that, you can just do a strut. You can just build straight up like 48 energy, and that's fine. Now we're going to get to the actual cannon stacking. The actual cannon stacking, a cannon, the shortest piece of wood the cannon can rest on is going to be 59 energy. So you want to get somewhere around 60 energy on this horizontal strut. The longer a strut is, there's not too many issues with it, but it makes it mildly more susceptible to fire beams and whatnot. So keeping it a little bit shorter just generally improves a lot of stuff. And now what you want to do is, what Robberfox firstly does is, first of all, he would complete this spine, which how you would do would be you would go ahead and build this node basically as high as you can without interfering with this strut. Make sure you're holding control with everything, by the way. Now you're gonna build this 4-long over here, and now you would build another node like above this strut recently, and now you would select this node, this strut, by dragging to the left and dragging it all over the place. And once you drag this all over the place, what he personally does is that he slants it perfectly so that this piece of wood is going to be 108 or 109 energy. That's how he eyeballs the perfect slant. So something looking like this. If you can't get this perfectly, which you have to do the perfect length for everything, just generally eyeballing it so a slant something looking like this is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and do it the proper way though, just because why not? So 108, 109, perfect. And if you struggle building that, you can just cross brace over here again. And this is what I think a lot of people trip up on. People just go back to the regular cannon stacking, but you remember you're tilting the cannon forward, so try to build a perfectly 90-degree angle right here and build the strut at 65 energy, so something looking like this. Now you place this cannon, and this turbine actually stops this from getting buzzsawed down, which is the genius design of this turbine. And now there's different ways to staircasing. I recommend 30 energy horizontally like such. And now once again here, you can simply drag this to the left, but generally speaking, if I want a little bit more slant, because it improves my angle even more, so I want to slant this down like such, probably like this is fine. Again, keeping the general rhyme scheme of 61 energy. And once again, I'm going to do this. 66 energy, 65 energy is both fine, and doing something like that. Now, after 2 cannons, that's generally the amount of time you want to defend. How you want to defend is this. You would go ahead and get this front node over here and do regular Narf node stability tech, which I have covered in many of my other videos. something looking like this. But also there's other parts in stability tech like this. So you want to play this node in this very precise spot. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna get it first try, but like right exactly here, I guess. It's hard to describe. And this way you can drag this down for this strut. Now you want to make this piece of wood here, select that new piece of wood and drag it down for this strut. So you have this and this. And now once again you select this diagonal here that you made by selecting this node and drag this to the right. So you have this strut. And once again you select this diagonal node here and you drag to the right to select this strut. So you have this. Now you want to connect this up here like this. And now you select this strut and drag it to the right for a 4-along like such. That's the entire frontal stability tech. How Robberfox, this is wood spam, is a little bit different, but it's like marginally better, but it doesn't really make a real difference. So what he does is basically, you slant this up, sort of like regular wood spam, but you pull back a little bit, around 72 energy is fine. Looking like this. And now, instead of regular just dragging it down, he actually drags this horizontal, this strut right here, he drags this down, and he completes it like that. He can't immediately get this furlong from here to here and here to here, which is extremely crucial. But once you put a little bit of weight, you can get that strut again. So I'm just gonna continue filling the rest of the wood spam here once again. You go 50 energy like here vertically up, and once again, and then you drag up again. And once you build a little bit of wood spam like such, a little bit more wood spam, now you can drag this furlong like here and like here, and now you can make this new furlong strut you made and drag this up for 109 energy. Like such. And remember to defend a little bit lower so this bottom mine hitbox isn't actually exposed. Now we're going to talk about defending the cannon stack. So once again, the main like ideal of this cannon stack is getting these super tiny doors. So you can kind of just once again, this is sort of something you can eyeball depending on the map. Say it's a 1v1 situation, I could probably just do tiny doors, maybe 26 energy like such. And now I can't fill this immediately down. So what I would do is, this is the thing that I think matters most. I guess a 90-degree angle would work here, but you just kind of want to, once again, I hate saying the word eyeball, but because I think more complicated base designs require doing that more, you would kind of, and once again, this part is the most important. I practiced this base like 20-30 times. And the most important thing I practiced, and the most important thing that affects this base, is getting this horizontal strut at the perfect angle over here. So something looking like this is fine. Not too slanted low, not too slanted high. Around like at 50 degrees, but slanted up a little bit. So something looking like that is fine. If you want to shoot more up, then you would slant that up a little bit more. If you want to shoot it down, then you would slant it down a little bit more. So something looking like this and this. And once you've got that, you just keep building forward, like such. And if you want to keep building up, you can do the same thing. Robberfox does the same thing here. He just repeats this process. So what you can also do is you can drag this up, which keeps the same exact amount of angle. So something looking like this. Now I'm going to fill in the rest of my wood spam, like such. And now I'm going to go over to how to do return to sender portal design, which is the most innovative part, and what this base design especially allows you to do really, really well. So how return to senders work is that you can't build them too short. They have to be, what, I think at least 90 energy, 110. Well, I know it's 90 metal horizontally, like such. And this is actually shorter than that, so you can't build it. What you have to do is basically you want to slant it. So something looking like this. Basically, you build out another layer until you can slant this a little bit, because obviously a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And now you can build another portal. I guess in this case, this works. Also, you could probably do something like this as well, but in this case, this just looks prettier as well. And the entire crux of this is that you want these two angles to be nearly as identical as possible. And I cannot stress how difficult that is to actually get when you're talking about these really precise angles. And even a couple degrees sometimes will make the reflecting angles from reflecting it to back in their cannons and door sniping them to just going into outer space. So you want to have this basically in an identical angle. This is really close, where I think it'll probably still reflect back into Plantyby, so that's fine. But usually you won't get lucky and get that number, so sometimes you just have to kind of rebuild and reslant this a little bit. But when the cannons actually start flying, portal links will take too long. They will get destroyed often, so it's better to have them slanted wrong than to actually build them incorrectly. Once you do that, you would link them. And now you would link them so that both blue sides on the right, or both, orange sides are on the right or left. They're all the same. So after you've done that, make sure you do that very early on, by the way. The later the game gets, or the second they have cannons out, these are going to be taken out a lot more while they're converting or whatnot, because they have very low HP. They wouldn't even get killed by snipers. So make sure you do that. And now just doing tiny doors. We'll do the tiniest doors here. You can do a sandbag door here, like such. And like such. And right here, we're going to see this angle, and this angle is just absolutely incredible. I mean, just look at that. You can hit pretty much, you can hit his cannon stack and his wood spam, which is pretty much exactly what we want. Hitting his cannon stack is much more important than actually hitting his wood spam. Maybe in a real game. Actually, no. This is perfectly. This is actually just perfect. Now we're going to talk about just expanding more, and this is what I'm going to do while I'm expanding more. So there's technically, like, Robberfox technically has better way to do this, but I find that just kind of doing it by intuition and 3 long is good enough. So what I'm going to do is, once again, you go 30 energy to the left. And now you would drag this up again. Now it would do 66 energy or 65 energy like such. Do tiny doors like such. Build another cannon. Do another... And right here, obviously, you can't do the return descender right now, which is a little bit sad. This is why I would build up again. This is also very weak to drop shots, by the way. If Plantyby shoots over, my cannon just kind of explodes. So that'd be not good. We're going to go again. 65 energy like such. Tiny doors. Like such. And... right here, once again, I'm going to go ahead and slant this like here. And we're going to go ahead and slant this like here. Once again, you can see here the angles are pretty much as close to each other as possible, which is very good. And now, keep in mind, this stability tech, it's actually missing this specific 4 long. So what I actually do is I do this slanted down here. And I would drag this to the left. That blinking is fine. If that breaks, it'll be fine. If you're really worried about this, you can make an extra node and do this, but it's fine regardless. And now you can make another cannon here. If you want to do more turbines, how you want to do that is, first of all, you would probably do something looking like this. And then, basically, the entire crux of, void space design is that you want to use as the longest pieces of wood as possible. Your base is only as strong as your weakest piece of wood. So every single piece of wood at this point on above, besides maybe like random pieces in the front, should be as long as possible. So this is something you sort of get with Ford's intuition, but once you play the game enough. But something looking generally like this is fine. It's not perfect, but you can see all the struts are decently long. And something looking like, I don't know, like this is fine. And I don't know, something like this is fine. Like, this isn't perfect, but it doesn't have to be. These central struts are actually carrying any, like, too much weight, so it doesn't have to be perfect 4 longs, but generally that they should at least be 3 longs. Now we're talking about turbines. Once again, you don't want to do max height. Around 70 or a little bit less energy is fine. So something looking like this is fine for turbines, like such, to have the best efficiency. And I don't know. This is, once again, not perfect. And I don't tend it to be. So something looking like this, if you want to do more turbines. Reminder that return descenders take a ridiculous amount of energy, so you do need extra turbines than usual to actually run this. If you're not overdrive, then you should not upgrade the turbines, once again. And, I mean, that's pretty much most of the base. If you want to do extra reinforcing, you would do one node like this, and then connect that up by doing this. And you can drag this to the left with auto cross space. So you have this down, and then you would connect this down like such. And then you would drag this over here. And if you want to do, and then for some extra stability tech, you can do here and here. Though I will say, this base is a little bit harder to reinforce than a lot of other bases I've seen. So I would have to refer to Robberfox to reinforcing there. Usually would need to reinforce after you get the 5th or 6th cannon. Then you would, at that point, unreinforced base can stack around 5 to 6 cannons, which is generally enough for most games. Actually, I can have this looking a little prettier. I can have this looking a little prettier. Oh, by the way, if you're, I know oftentimes I'll just do a portal pretty short like this, which is what I do pretty often. If you do that, make sure that this is not a weak point. Make sure you do a ton of pens bracing if you are actually doing that. So, like that. But obviously in this case, we have this really pretty cannon base design where we don't have to do that. And that's wonderful. Another thing about this good base design, about having these portals here, is you can place a gunner like here. Well, obviously the biggest way to shut down portals are going to be EMP. Swarms are not really realistic in a 1v1 battle. Or any battle, actually. Mainly it's going to be EMPs, so you want to have some gunners. You can have, for example, one trench gunner down here. This is my favorite gunner. You can just... These gunners will shoot up. And honestly, sometimes the EMP just gets you no matter what because of hieroglyphics, but we're just gonna hope that doesn't happen. And having diversity in like what trench gunners we have, like maybe just one gunner down here, and maybe you can even put a gunner here. Just having diversity in where gunners are makes it really hard for them to take it out all at once. And as long as you have 2 gunners active at all times, that's fine. And obviously, once they see this cannon setup, they have to separately get on the attack, and it'll take time. And when you can shoot their entire cannon stack, like when you can shoot their entire base so perfectly, like such, like there's really not easy places for them to get an EMP. And so I'm saying would have to sell a mine and portal out, which is again more complicated. Apparently 3 doors is enough. Plantyby, can you try shooting at my cannon stack? Plenty. So keep shooting. Not like at the cannon stack, not above me. Try hitting my doors. No, Planty, you're not shooting at the doors. There you go. Shot at the doors. Try again. Oh, that was a little sad. Try again. One more time. See? Okay, so generally speaking, because this is around 60% covered, maybe a little bit more, it's going to reflect back around 60% of the time, which means like it's on average going to do more self-damage to them than you, which I covered in the intro. And this basically makes cannon stacking against this pretty much impossible and pretty pointless. So what oftentimes is the best choice for them, and what oftentimes they will do, is they will turn their attention on your wood spam, in which case, if it's just cannons, some dense wood spam is not the end of the world. Oh, also, sometimes the splash damage that when you repair splash damage from the portals, they activate for a little bit. So make sure after you only repair the portals when they're not shooting, when their cannon volley is over. I'm gonna try to just cannon stack practice. I'm gonna leave my doors open, and I want to see Planty. Can you try to get a door snipe on one of these?
The second one.
Yeah, the second one. I know it's really hard to aim. Okay, this base might be a little OP, I can't lie. There we go, got it. So, what this basically base design allows you to do is that cannons don't drop on yourself, which, if you played this game like a decent amount, you know that like always happens, and that's like the #1 cause. One of the cannons dies, and then the rest of the cannon stop drops on them. But in this base, it doesn't. And you know what's even better about it? You just replace this cannon back, and it's literally perfect, which is just so innovative in a base design. No base design has really been able to do that consistently yet, and it's just so wonderful. And then Planty's shooting at themselves, and then I also help shoot her. And you're just happy. And Planty's just sad. I mean, this is just such a good base design. Besides that, I can't really think of much else. I mean, the base design's a little busted. You can see here, like, the angles is kind of getting reflected back into the wood spam. This is because the angle's like 2 degrees off. And this is kind of what I'm talking about when it's hard to get the exact angle right. Yeah, so one of us got door sniped, and you can see the difference here. 1 here and 1 here. Because of the cannons, because of these larger boxes, they're so much further away. You just have so much more leeway in just doing everything, and it's just... I'm just really impressed by Robberfox's entire base design here. It's so innovative, and it's just so good. Everything's about this is perfect. I'm gonna keep on cannon stacking a little bit, just to keep on demonstrating. I will say that my cannons have been destroyed, which will like marginally lower my stability.
Do you want me to try shooting my Howie?
I'm just gonna pretend like Howie's don't exist. Howie's obviously have a 50% chance of hitting the return to sender, or yeah, sometimes if it doesn't, like, howitzers are still howitzers, they're still gonna do damage, shocker, so, usually I pray for the howitzer to go into return to sender, but you're supposed to shoot it down with a shotgun.
Or cannon.
Yeah, or a cannon, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I can't really think of anything else. We're gonna jump a game. What am I saying? We're gonna jump in a game against Backpackathon over here. Once again, practicing this base design in real time.
Oh,
don't shoot the gunner, that will cripple me.
No, it's the keybind, bro. It's the keybind.
Yeah, sure, it's the keybind. We're gonna do this over here, and something like this, and once again, I'm not gonna do the actual base. You know, by the way, I don't mean to brag, but I'm actually like moving up to the big leagues. The big leagues actually called me, like, on my phone. Like right now, there's a mildly important guy in this Discord call, so I don't mean to brag, but like pretty much a micro celebrity at this point. I might as well just be promoting like fishy cryptocurrencies. That's all I'm gonna say.
Who?
No. So paying the price guy, he's actually a Chud or a Chad, whatever. One of those.
Yo,
Exactly,
that's true, bro.
I didn't know that people actually watched the videos. I just assumed it was bots, but I guess I don't know. I guess the 100% botted dislikes, I mean botted likes is getting diluted, I guess. It's pretty good happening over here. I would go ahead and sell some of my front metal just because I can. Right, once again, I say this every time. Unless you, as long as you don't sell this diagonal piece of metal, you won't die to buzzsaws. Maybe. No promises, but you shouldn't die to buzzsaws, hypothetically. I'm gonna build this base real quick, and once again, it's gonna be quicker than last time, so if you don't catch everything, then that's alright. Okay, build until this front strut is blinking. Very good. 69 energy, very good. Something like this. And Backpack is going to use a traditional 4-long base here, but he's actually very good at the game, so we got a little bit of a plancher test subject, you know? You
Gonna get mogged.
Yeah. Or maybe you'll win the game cannon stack battle. I actually have no idea what's going to happen. If you don't get this back node, you can afford cannon attack immediately. If you do this back node early, you can't do that. You're like 10 seconds later to your build. Maybe 5 seconds. That's the main difference. But securing this earlier prevents you from dying to buzzsaws. That's why it's more practical. It's because if you don't have this, instead of falling forwards, you actually just fall backwards, and you look really stupid. Backpack, what the fuck? Go away! Stop it! That's my FPL teammate, by the way. I'm not associated with this.
No, that's Backpackathon.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so once again, you're seeing the classic builder. We're going to get 4 turbines here. Against, at this point, you're going to check the timer. Usually at this point is where some aggressive stuff comes out. If that comes out, obviously defend accordingly. But until then, we're going fine right now. Actually, sometimes I put a minigun in here. Go for some minigun aggro, but you don't have to do that right now. The motto is always upgrade turbines before mines, so once these turbines are done upgrading, I'd focus on upgrading them. Is Blood using ropes? Holy planch. And now, once again, you would try to find this node right here. And I would try to get this, connect this strut. Come on. No, I can't do it, can I? This is so hard to get. Yeah, I'll just do this. It's easier. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Perfect. Upgrade battery. Get 4-long spine. Sell turbine. Select this. Drag this to so you have these 4 longs. Chat. Oh, I'm such a chud. Okay, I only floated like 100 metal, but like 800 metal. But you know, this base design is gonna be really hard to learn. I have 4,000 hours in this game, and it took me like a couple hundred. I mean, like quite a few hours to actually learn this base design again. So I think it's gonna take a lot of you guys for more time, and that's expected. That's kind of the beauty of forts, or the ugliness of forts. You have to learn the game, which is terrible, I know. Heavy weapons, generally speaking, cannons he's not full eco. Backpack, why can't you just go full eco? I don't want to get shot at, man. What a chud. Okay, I'm not even gonna do the special weight span at the bottom. I can't be bothered. Backpack's just a chud, and he's just getting weapons out. He's rushing cannons, which in the big 2-6. Backpack, leave me alone!
Yo, what are we doing?
I'm learning this space design. All right, you're learning with infinity power.
Not that deep.
Backpack, go away, you freaking chud. Yeah, I can't even get this portal. That's wonderful. Good. Holy sh. Such a... Backpack's not a very good player, so that's at least one good thing about it.
No.
That's why I have him as demonstration. If this was like Tar or someone, he would kind of be battering me, but I don't like how the portals are slanted right here. It's not actually slanted enough, so I'm gonna re-angle them. Should he do this in a real game? Absolutely not. Why am I doing it? It's because Backpack's plancha, and I can do whatever I want against this guy. Also, this cannon stack, because of how oppressive it is once you actually get the setup up, because of how oppressive you can get the setup up, I can be really behind. Like, I'm literally on my own rhythm here, and I'm allowed to be, and that's what's wonderful about this. Backpack, you're not actually allowed to win, you know? Or else the tutorial's delayed for, like... Or else the tutorial will end in the same place as the rocket tutorial, so... just so we're clear. You got that? Backpack?
No.
Yeah.
Sigma aim.
Oh, I didn't delete that in time. I didn't give Backpack the opportunity for him to shoot himself. Hashtag sad.
You're a terrible person.
No, start blasting back. 3 doors only stops 2 cannons if you have a little bit of time to repair. I don't know what Blood is shooting at. Holy plancha. Where did all my turbines go? I don't know. Where does my eco? God damn it. Backpack? You're not.
I shot it earlier.
Why can't you just go full eco? Nobody actually. So, by the way, I'm being like a little bit whatchamacallit, surprised because Backpack's not going full eco, and you're basically supposed to go full eco because full eco is just that much stronger. Son. Can I drop shot? Fuck. Let's do this. Nice shot! Nice one, Backpackathon. I want
I
to...
think he nails.
So right now I'm waiting for it. I wouldn't... There you go. I didn't press the ability immediately because I didn't want to use the ability when the turbines were upgrading, which wouldn't generate me the extra production. Once again here, I'm kind of on my own pace here. Backpack, you're actually not supposed to get a Hopser. That'd be like very mean. But notice how he's not firing at my cannon stack because he almost has a brain and he kind of knows that shooting at my cannon stacks is just a bad idea. That's how good this is. It like instills fear on my opponents or whatever. Holy tough! See, it works, guys. I thought I was doing something. Guess not. Probably should do a gunner. Generally about time where they might have an EMP, so. So I'm gonna do a quick trench gunner down here. But shooting at your wood spam, just like I said in the intro, the eco difference is so massive where I can tank it, like, unless he has like 6 or 7 cannons, I can easily tank it very easily. Chat, clip that?
Flipped.
Fucking chud. Backpack, how does it feel being a known chud?
It's whatever.
If that's how you live with yourself, yeah, sure.
That was like the most respect-worthy response I think he could have.
Okay, well he's shooting at me and he's not playing meta.
Tragic.
I'm like mildly caught off guard, but yeah, now he's shooting at the part where I don't have return descenders, which is kind of the issue. I'm just gonna do this temporarily for temporaries.
I have no metal.
Yeah, because you don't have upgraded mines, bozo. Bruh. Great! Mi bumbo. Si, senor. Should have just scripted this. Don't know what he's upgrading. Probably his bots. Bloodshot still shooting at the wood spam. Once again, like I said, it's around like 2 times more inefficient. So you could have 8 cannons for all I care about, and that'll be 4, which is not good for him. Not very good. The reason why I'm tilting forward is because I have a lot of wood spam and no back weight. That's because I suck at the game. The only difference between me and him is that he's not a wizard and he can't reflect projectiles. Nice shot, Backpack. Nice one. Nice one. Nice
What?
one. Nice shot, Backpack. Oh my holy pro. Who taught you that? Nice one, Backpack. Ah! Ah! Let me go quickly go over the replay against Alesio. I presume I won. Because honestly, I've been hitting insane win rate with this strategy. The only thing is about learning a new base design is that you can be really bad in against early aggro, especially when your base looks kind of like this. And also when you're like stressed out spending all this APM building the wonkiest back design I've ever seen in my life. You often don't have that much time to understand what they're building. And I thought he was going freaking rockets here because the people in the VC lied to me. But you can see even though I was delayed, like, so the space design is so beautiful. It can be so delayed in cannon stacking.
Really
You can be completely outplayed. They can be completely just better builders than you. But as long as you get this cannon stack out properly, then you just win the game. It's just incredible. Once again here, you can see over here, basically. I get this, and if they can only shoot this cannon, it's 100% win rate strategy. It's so pro. That's me doing the stat tech, because I don't actually know how to do that. How did I get all his cannons? Because I was pro, right? Oh, this is what I'm talking about. See how his cannon drops on him? Also, like, implodes on him? It doesn't do that for me, because, me bumble. Oh, and this also demonstrates what I was talking about over there, is that when your cannons get door sniped, it doesn't. So when his cannons get door sniped, half of his blaze blows up, 80% of his core HP gone, and he loses like 1 billion metal and another cannon. When that cannon blows up for me, I just literally just rebuild, and I can fit a cannon right back there when I have eco. So right here, I presume, or I'm just gonna float metal. That's fine too. Oh, also notice I have the angle on his wood spam, and he doesn't, even though I have tinier doors. Another feature. And you know, you just keep blasting them. And he tried to go rockets, but he didn't expect me to have angles on his wood spam, which makes another reason why this base isn't allowed me to win. At a certain point where, you know, once you have like 5 more cannons, it's enough to just burst through the wood spam, and you'll see in like 2 seconds probably. Yeah, like such. And you can also always join my Discord and just ping me in Discord as well. We can always jump into Forest Camp together if you need any help, and you know, I have no problem with doing that and guide you through the base individually if you're making any mistakes as well. Any thoughts you can leave in the comments. Like, subscribe, I guess. I've been procrastinating this for like a week or so, so I'm glad I'm done with it.